Hello, wonderful people. Good afternoon from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Today I'm going to review a fragrance from a sample. It's going to be a sample review, and this is going to be my second fragrance from this house. So this house, I'm not quite sure what's the right way of pronunciation. Like this particular house, some people say Rochas, some people say Rochas, some people say Rochas. So I am gonna call this Rochas Man. Okay, the house. And the fragrance is not called Rochas Man. Fragrance house is called Rochas, and the fragrance is called Mustache. Okay, and this is a sample, official 2 ml sample that I got from the page USB. I bought it a few days back. I was testing it. It's on my hand on the dry down. So this fragrance, some of the members in the community are very interested in this one because this is reviewed actually by Max Forte, one of the best reviewers in the community and one of the most OG reviewers. So I got to know about this fragrance from his channel, and I really dig the name and the bottle. It kind of is cheesy, but at the same time it's very sexy and funny, like one of those Borat kind of, if you're talking about a film, I think the name of this fragrance kind of reminds me of Borat. And I really laughed a lot, watching Borat and Dictator as well. That guy is really something else. So anyway, before I start the review, I want to say two things, just in general, nothing to do with fragrances. Recent times I saw Steven's fragrance got released, and yeah, there is good resemblance with the bottles with the Rojada fragrances like Elysium, Enigma, the cologne version, and he's getting some bashing from some groups. It's okay, people have difference in opinions. They'll give their uh, comments because of course Steven is a big reviewer, but like just because the bottles you do not find them to be most original, do not shy away from trying the fragrances. Perhaps the fragrances are really good because so far whatever work he has done, I think he did it with enormous honesty. I really like that. So you don't have to bother about where his funding's coming from, whatever. If you like him, you support. If you do not like him, do not buy. So the point I'm trying to raise is, do not go too close to people that you actually overstep their boundaries. Not about Steven, but anybody. I mean, if you're gonna love someone, like and love without condition, without boundaries, without expecting to get something back in return. And if you feel like you're gonna respect someone, but that person did not show you the recognition of the respect, do not get disheartened because sometimes maybe he did not mean it. Okay, so I always follow this. Many people want to add me in Facebook, but I always humbly disagree at times because I'm sorry, this is turning out to be something else a little bit, but I just want to say this because it's in my head. Um, if you respect someone's boundaries and you just respect them from little distance, I think it's always that respect and love stays. This is what I feel. Some people may disagree that no, you have to know no boundaries, but I think sometimes boundaries are good. And second thing I'm gonna say is, like, do not be extreme of anything always. In life nothing of extreme is good nature. If you want to be a critic, be a critic, but if you're an anal critic, you can hardly enjoy anything in life because you become so unhappy in life. So keep things simple. This is a fragrance game, guys. Take it with a light heart. Like, enjoy the game. Do not be too serious that you get angry at some point. You really want to see some bloodbath and stuff. So it's these things I'm seeing sometimes. I'm thinking like the purpose is being lost. And when we actually make fun of other people, different groups, they also have the watch groups and everything, phones, fragrances, guys. It's like, let's respect and love everybody, shall we? So that will make the game more interesting. So let's see this review. So as this is a sample, what I really like this sample because it's a 2 ml sample, which I like. And these bottles you actually can buy 125 ml for a very nominal price, around 45 to 55 bucks. That is a very good value. And this fragrance, as you can see, Rochas Paris mustache with the stash here, and nice sort of retro lining like zebra, and there's a red, very interesting color scheme. And when you open it, you see the bottle right there. Many people argue that that bottle is not the most appealing bottle. It looks a little bit like dated, or maybe it looks a little bit like ordinary, but I think this bottle looks really lovely. If you just Google it, and if you see Max Forte's review, I think there are a few others, you will actually might appreciate the bottle beauty. Like, it does look really classy to me. And the mustache, it's actually re-release of 1950s, one of these years. This one got released back in the time, and this was relaunched. So this fragrance, I think the best part is the price range and 125 ml. These two are excellent features. You can buy smaller bottles as well. So I'll let you know if this fragrance is worth picking up and is it similar to Tuxedo, or is it a fragrance good on its own? So I will tell you two things. I had smelled Tuxedo only once in my life from one of the guys who actually had the bottle with him, and I sprayed it, and I remember not being overwhelmed by it because it was earlier part of my journey, 2016, 17. I think no, it was 2018 or 19. I don't remember. It's quite not recent times, okay? And I thought like, no, like for the price range, it's really expensive. Like YSL's Tuxedo is very expensive, kind of considered their niche line. And I was like, it's okay, it didn't was not what I expected. Second thing is, I did buy a knockoff of Tuxedo, like one of those Dubai house. They make excellent clones, and I did smell it, and I thought it was very close to the original, but the longevity wasn't there. So that is my memory with Tuxedo. So I cannot actually say 100% comparison head to head, but I'll tell you they are close. From my memory serves, it close. And if you see Max 40, he also said these are extremely close, which he owns both. So that is the comparison part. Let me review this fragrance itself. So first of all, this fragrance has excellent longevity. If from the sample, usually you cannot really determine if it's a long-lasting or a weak fragrance sometimes, because the sprayers sometimes are not the big sprayers. But so far from my experience, even from the small sprayers, if I just go double, okay, if I do this is what I did while I tested. Okay, so that much, that literally is like half a spray or a full spray from this sample. Like it's equivalent to two samples, equivalent to almost one spray of the big bottle. So which is very good distribution on this sample. So from these applications I got around 6-7 hours mark. Okay, longevity wise, in Bangladesh condition, mild cold weather, very good longevity. Issues with performance, I think this, as Max 40 said, I'm gonna quote back to him that this fragrance, he said, is longer lasting than Tuxedo, which is a great thing because this is cheaper than Tuxedo by mile. Okay, so longevity is pretty good. And versatility wise, this fragrance, I felt it would be actually more favorable, like 60-40 towards winter slash to hot weather. I mean, 60% of the time I would say this is good for winter cooler seasons. 40% of the time I would say this is going to be good for all year round. So it's pretty versatile in that way, yes. So this fragrance has a few notes, and it's kind of not very, it's kind of like a linear scent. It doesn't change so much, one thing. Second thing is this fragrance, it's not supremely complex, like it's not that daring. I find this fragrance to be very designer-like, okay? And it is a designer fragrance. So this fragrance, it has kind of sweetness, but the first thing that hit my nose was kind of like a woody note that smells like cedar wood. And it has some sweetness, definitely. They have notes like vanilla, rose, I believe, yeah, pink pepper, orange, patchouli, and I think there is a rose, yeah, as I was telling you. So these are the notes this consists of. So when I look at the notes breakdown, I don't really find anything that's exciting, like Black Afghan, you smell it, or Pardon, or any of those fragrances that has some element that shake you, like Hindu Kush has that, like shake, or let's say something daring. This fragrance, there is, first thing I would say, there's nothing daring about it. It's very safe sort of fragrance. It's very gentlemanly and sweet at the same time, kind of like those people who have easygoing, classy dressed up dude, dress pants and white shirt. He makes everybody laughs. This is the kind of fragrance I think he wears. It's a very easygoing, handsome, around the man in 25 to 35. This is the kind of fragrance I see him wearing. It's very nice, relaxing sort of a nice fragrance, gentlemanly fragrance. It has some playfulness if you smell it, that kind of like you can get that, not tangerine, it's like what's that orange, I think mandarin orange, perhaps. It's mixes with that beautiful cedar. And I am reminded a little bit, I'm not saying this is the same as this, but if you know D Squared Hued by D Squared, this fragrance has a nice woody note in this, and it's kind of fresh mixed with the violets. This one is lacking that violets, I think, from the Tuxedo, original Tuxedo, from my memory, as far as it's serving me. So this one doesn't have the violet notes, but does smell still fresh with that mandarin orange. So it does get tiny bit, not really dark. It's kind of like a, think of like Mr. Burberry EDP, that kind of like a patchouli that took over, but that one was very patchouli dominant, very dark. It has a mild darkness. That's what makes it kind of winter wearable. So people who are wondering, should you get this? It's a fantastic value fragrance. I'm telling you, I'm gonna get the full bottle for sure. At this price point, I'm scared it's gonna go up a little bit if it gets hype. And if you actually want to get something that you are wanting to preserve. It kind of, Rochas kind of reminds me of Yop, that house, like Yop, those fragrances. This one has that sort of a feel. I don't know why I get confused, like Rochas and Yop, are they the same house? No, they're not. But of course they're not. What am I saying? So this fragrance, it has the kind of sweetness that Yop would offer, but at the same time it holds back the sweetness a little bit, adds a little bit more wearability factor. But I cannot say the same about Rochas Man. This is one of my favorite fragrances. That one has a lot of sweetness and coffee, kind of like a white chocolate sort of feel, kind of fresh winter coffee fragrance. So after that, this one, it's definitely another favorite of mine. Is it getting a perfect 10? No. I'm not giving a perfect 10 because it did not really excite me, like the exciting factor isn't there. So that is not a bad thing. Sometimes people don't want to be excited or surprised or shocked, rather. They like to wear something that smells familiar, smells nice. This is going to appeal to 80-85% of people easily. And if you are trying to get, let's say, Tuxedo by YSL, I am not going to be able to say with 100% confidence this one substitutes that, but on its own, very good fragrance. It gives you kind of like a interest. It keeps you interested all the time. It's linear, but it still stays interesting. It doesn't get boring to my nose. So you can wear 4 to 5 sprays of it. It will give you easily 6 to 7 hours easily. So get a sample first, see if it works with you. I have decided already I'm getting a bottle of it. Like, I love the name, I love the bottle. Just once more. See that bottle? It's just classy. Like, it suits my age. I think this is good for almost everyone. But if you just wanna wear something like say dapper look, if you want to go for a dapper look, this is a good fragrance to wear. It's not a niche quality, but it's very good solid quality designer fragrance. So Moustache for 125 ml, price point affordable, under 50-55 bucks. Longevity is good. The smell wise, it's nice, and it has this kind of like warming quality to it. I think I'm giving this a very, very high 8.5 out of 10. Definitely check out Moustache. It's EDP concentration as well, and very good fragrance to own in the crowd of your more mainstream fragrance. This is not a mainstream fragrance. That's the best attribute of this fragrance. So check it out, Moustache, the stash, this fragrance, okay, by Rochas or Rochas or Rochas. So this is a great fragrance to try. Thanks USB for the sample. You can always purchase fragrance samples at very affordable prices from this page. I'll leave the link below, you can check. Take care, guys. Have a very nice day, and thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll be doing some more reviews in upcoming days. Bye bye.